everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, Ushi, and welcome back to another true crime episode with me, whereby I sit down and then I talk about a Namibian true crime case. All the disclaimer texts really they apply to this one. Viewers' discretion is very much advised, and watch at your own discretion. And then also, if you don't really feel like you want to listen to things about that are going to talk about blood, and I highly suggest that you click out, and then I am going to see you in my next video. For those of you that stayed, let's get into this one. Okay, let me tell you what happened. On the 18th of January 2008, it was past 10 p.m. Romeo Schiefer decided that he's going to go home. Once he got home, he reached the house. Their house was just somewhere in Khomasdal. He reached the house. He instantly knew that something was wrong because the balcony, the veranda, he got there. He could see that there was blood all over the balcony. There was just blood. He looked over at the door, noticed that the door was kicked in, and also it had bullet holes in it, like a couple of bullet holes in it. I think there were like 2 or so. Also, the door handle itself was broken as well. When you open the front door of the house, you have the kitchen. You went inside the house. The kitchen, there was blood all over the kitchen. I'm talking about blood everywhere. He followed the blood trail. The blood trail led to the bedroom, the main bedroom. When he got to the main bedroom, this is when his heart sank. Because in the main bedroom, in the bed, was lying Frans Schiefer, who was only 50 years old. Frans was also the father of Mario. Next to the bed, on the floor, there lay Francina Schiefer. Francina Schiefer was also 50 years old, and she was the mother of Mario. Mario has just discovered the crime scene of both of his parents. Immediately, Mario took out his phone and he called the police. After he was done talking to the police, he hung up and then he called his brothers. Mario has 2 brothers, his older brother Desmond Schiefer, as well as his younger brother Romeo Schiefer. Mario called Desmond and he also called Romeo. The officers came to the crime scene. The crime scene was brutal. The crime scene was very brutal. It's those type of images, they just never leave you. Those type of images that once you close your eyes at night when you go to sleep, you see it. This is how the crime scene looked. When you entered into the kitchen, the very first thing that you were going to see was blood. Among the blood as well, another thing which was noted was of footprints. These were bloody footprints, and these footprints were found all over the house, but they were found mainly in the kitchen as well as in the main bedroom and in the bathroom and also in both of the boys' rooms. It was the kitchen lounge, it is the main bedroom, the boys' rooms, so it was a 3-bedroom house, and then you have the garage. So the police officers came, they took pictures, and then they took the boys in for questioning as well, because they wanted to know what the boys were doing during their time. They wanted to paint a picture to see what was going on, what was happening. So the boys were questioned and they were taken down to the station. The first thing that came to everybody's mind was maybe this was a robbery. Maybe people came in and they tried to rob the couple and something went wrong and they lost their lives in the process. If this was a robbery, then how come nothing significant was stolen? DVDs were still there. Also, most importantly, the firearm that was used was also found in the crime scene. So why commit a murder as heinous as that one and then leave the murder weapon behind? Because the murder weapon was found on the kitchen counter in the kitchen. People, especially experts, can tell that you are lying because your story is not consistent. So everybody were questioned, but one of the boys' story was not making sense. It was not being consistent, and the police officers immediately knew that there was something that he was hiding. His name is Romeo Schiefer. Romeo Schiefer, at that time, he was very, very young. He was questioned, and according to him, the interrogation became so intense that he decided that he's just going to confess. And this is what he confessed. Later, he denied the confession. He denied everything, and he said that he said what he said because the police officers forced him to say it. But yeah, this is what he said. According to Romeo Schiefer, tension started brewing on the 17th of January. Why I'm saying that is because he said that on the 17th of January, him and his mother, they had confrontation type of moment. And his mother mentioned that she's tired of him not taking his education seriously. She's also tired of him wasting her money. So on the 18th of January 2008, Romeo was at home with his parents. He was busy helping his mom in the kitchen. His mom was busy packing the packets because they sold meat. Both of his parents were employed, but also as a side hustle, they were selling meat at their home from their house. So he was also helping them putting the meat in their respective packages. But also at the same time, he was watching soccer with his father. So it was like more of a relaxed evening whereby he is jumping from helping with packing the meat as well as watching soccer with his dad. Tension was not running high. It was very relaxed. His friend came by. He went to go see his friend. It was probably around 9 o'clock in the evening. He went to go see his friend and they made plans for the evening. They made plans that we are going to go out, we're going to have fun. And, young boys, it's Khomasdal, it's Windhoek 2008, And Romeo told his friend that, okay, listen, cool, but first I'm going to go back into the house, I'm going to change, and then I'll call you and you can pick me up and then we go. His friend agreed and his friend left. Romeo went back into the house. From there, he went out again and he went to go buy a cigarette at a shop that was nearby his house. The shopkeeper informed him that they were out of cigarettes. And from there, he decided to go to a bar, which was just nearby. It was just near the shop, to go buy the cigarette. And from there, he went back home. He went to the backyard, started smoking a cigarette. While he was smoking a cigarette, he was a woman that was renting a back room at the back of their house. The neighbors saw him in the backyard smoking this cigarette. And from there, he went back into the house. He went to his mom and he asked for money. Remember, he was supposed to go out with his friend later that night, so he needed money for that as well. Mom went off, basically. She went off, telling him how he's just at home doing nothing and wasting her money. So she was done scolding him and she gave him $20 and she asked him to go buy her tango airtime at the shop. He took the $20. From there, Romeo did something that was totally unexpected, totally crazy, I don't even know how else to put this. Both in the kitchen. Romeo then went straight to where they kept the knives. He took one knife and then he came back and he stabbed his mother. He started to literally attack his mother. He attacked her. Romeo went to the bedroom where his father was lying, because by this time, when he was having this discussion of him asking money from his mom, his dad was not there. His dad was in the bedroom sleeping because it was late. It was getting very late. In the bedroom, he went straight to where his father keeps his firearm. He took the firearm and went to where his father was lying on the bed. Romeo stood over his father, looked at his father, cried. The tears rolled from his face onto his father. His father turned because he could feel the wetness. He turned a little bit. Romeo took the firearm and a pillow. He took the pillow, put it underneath the firearm, put the pillow between the firearm and his father, and he shot twice. Romeo went back to the kitchen to go find his mom. His mom regained strength and she was able to fight back. Romeo ended up outside. His mom locked the door, the front kitchen door. This is when Romeo decided to start shooting at the door. That is why when Mario first went to the house, the kitchen door looked as though it had bullet holes in it because it was shot at it. This is when he was shooting at it. He shot at the door and he managed to break the door handle and he went back inside the house. He went inside the house. He went into the kitchen. He was looking for his mom, but his mom was not in the kitchen. His mom had managed to run straight to the main bedroom where her deceased husband lay. She ran into the bathroom and she managed to lock herself in the bedroom as well. Romeo got to the bedroom door and Romeo again managed to kick down the bedroom door and he entered in the bedroom where his deceased father and his hurt, scared mother was in. He was still having the firearm and he shot in the air. When he shot in the air, his mother charged at him. I'm telling you, Francina is a very strong woman because Francina fought until the end. Imagine this is a 50-year-old woman, guys. Romeo could see his mom running towards him and Romeo decided to turn the firearm at his mom and he shot his mom a couple of times. By this time, his friend was back. He went outside and he sent his friend on a little errand. To run errands, just so that he can just move from the place. He sent his friend to go buy the airtime. Remember the $20 tango airtime that his mother asked for earlier? While his friend was gone, Romeo went back into the house and he proceeded. He didn't stop to process or proceeded to continue with the assault on his mother. Basically, he just went back there and then just continued where he left off. After he was probably done and he was satisfied and he was happy with what he had done, he stopped eventually. His friend also came back from the errand that he sent him on. He took the airtime from his friend. His friend never came in. He went outside to his friend. He took the airtime from his friend. He went back in and then he pretended as if he's going to give the airtime to his mother. But we all know that at this point his mother was deceased, so there was no way that he could do that. He went inside. He had to change as well. He and his friend, they had to go. They were trying to chill. It was a weekend. They were chilling and things. At first, he was wearing shorts and a t-shirt, but at this point, the shorts and the t-shirt were drained in blood. So he had to change, and he changed into a pair of jeans as well as another clean t-shirt. He took his mom's bob cart and he left with his friend, and they went on a joyride. They picked up girls. They went to his friend's house. They had a couple of drinks. While he was there having his couple of drinks, this is when his brother Mario called him, telling him that, I quote, something bad has happened at home and he had to come home immediately. That is what he confessed. He confessed in English. He signed it, but his defense team later tried to fight that confession though. So later, Romeo decided that he's going to deny everything. So now it was up to the prosecution to prove its case beyond reasonable doubt. Now let's get into the evidence that we found at the crime scene. First of all were the bloody shoe prints. The shoe prints that showed that this person was wearing Nike Air Force were very visible. And these Nike Air Force were discovered at Romeo's friend's place. When they were discovered, they appeared as though they were washed a little bit, and also they appeared as though they had stains that looked like blood. They were collected in as evidence, and then they had to be sent down to the Forensic Science Institution so that they can be tested for traces of human blood. Another thing that was also collected at the crime scene was a pillow. This pillow was believed to be the one that was used as a silencer, one that he used to cover his dad's face with as he shot his father. That pillow was also collected. On that pillow, there were traces of what looked like blood, and they were also sent in to the Forensic Institute to be tested for traces of human blood. That one was also taken in as evidence. The pieces of evidence that were collected at the crime scene was the t-shirt that he was wearing that night, as well as the shorts that he was wearing that night. The t-shirt and the shorts were also sent in so that they can be tested for traces of human blood. And by the way, they did come back as positive traces of human blood. Basically, most of all the traces that came back, they came back positive for human blood, except for one sample. That one was not, or it did not come back positive for human blood. I think that one came from the fact that he was helping his mother packaging the meat. Maybe some of the blood also spilled on him as well. So yeah, spent cartridges were also discovered at the crime scene. Projectiles were also found at the crime scene. When Francisca's body was discovered, she still had the knife that he used on her. It was still stuck on the side of her neck. She still had that. So that also was taken in as evidence. DNA prints were also tested on it. The ATM card of his mother, Francisca's ATM card, was found in his possession. As when he was asked about it, what he said was that his mother had earlier sent him to go collect the ATM card at the bank. He basically just forgot to give it to her. That was his explanation on the ATM card. The court could not find him anything less than guilty, and he was sentenced to a total of 45 years in prison. He's serving 42, 43. Some of the years were suspended from his sentence. But the more I was reading it, the more my jaw was just dropping to the ground. A lot of things were going on. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that the years that he got were enough for the crimes that he committed, or do you guys think that he should have gotten more? Before he ended his confession, he mentioned that he always knew that there was something wrong with him. During his childhood, they would visit so many psychiatrists. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit. I wanted to touch on that a little bit. I would also like to emphasize on the fact that mental health is literally one of those things that is never talked about. Romeo clearly showed signs of struggling with his mental health, and this manifested in what happened on that night on the 18th of January 2008. His mental health issues went untreated for so many years until they resulted in what resulted that night. People emphasize more on teaching, and then they forget that the minds that are supposed to receive this information that we are forcing on these learners also need to be protected. It needs to be helped so that they can be in the right mental state. Desmond said that Romeo saw psychiatrists as well for his mental health because he had mental health issues. But Desmond also said that in his testimony in court, he also said that Romeo is a spoiled brat. he always gets his way. If he doesn't get his way, then he would start crying and things like that. Or if his parents shouted at him or yelled at him, then he would start crying. So Desmond basically just called Romeo a spoiled brat. And somebody in the comment section recommended this case, and shout out to you. I had no idea this case even existed until you recommended it to me. So thank you so much. I'm just like, yo, this thing of just arresting criminals and then not offering the necessary psychological and mental help does not help, because now you're keeping this person locked up without helping them, and then after these 40 something years you release them back into society without treating the problem. And I also hope that the brothers Desmond and Mario and their families also got the necessary counseling, because I am sure that the nightmares that came after discovering that horrific crime scene would have been brutal and tormenting, and I really hope that they got the psychological help. Mental health education should be one of the majors in the education mainstream as well, so that it can also become like a compulsory subject whereby we just talk about our feelings and our mental health and how we're feeling. And before y'all come to me about, yeah, schools have life skills teachers. Our schools have life skills teachers, but then we still have these problems. So maybe life skills teachers need help. We need those things in schools. Thank you so much, guys. Tell me what you think, your thoughts. For me, I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to think. I'm shocked. I don't know. Right, so as per usual, stay safe, stay vigilant. I am going to be seeing you in the next one. Bye.